Welcome to today's Talk Business and Politics Daily. I'm joined by John Brummett of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Welcome back to the seat, my friend.
The hot seat.
It's not that hot.
I never have found it so.
No.
It's not comfortable, but it's not hot.
Temperature-wise, it's comfortable.
Right. It's a little rickety. A lot of prominent people have sat here.
The back of my chair says creaky on it right there. You can see the creaky symbol on there. So everybody needs a creaky on there. All right, let's talk tough politics first. Senator Al Franken departs the U.S. Senate over sexual misconduct allegations. Is this the Democrats putting themselves on a higher moral ground, or do you think Senator Franken actually should have been expelled from the Senate or should have removed himself from the Senate?
Boy, you've just asked the question. You have just asked the question, because yesterday in my column in the Sunday Democrat-Gazette, I basically tried to say both those things. That he, based on what we hear, he deserves to go, but what actually happened was fairly raw, cynical politics, that the Democrats sacrificed him so that they can continue to present themselves as the progressive party on the women's movement, and then keep the supposed moral high ground as they continue to talk about Trump, whose accusers are now going to come forward in some sort of formal setting, and Moore, Roy Moore. And I also said it's further cynical in that the Democrats conveniently could force out Franken, knowing that the Democratic governor of Minnesota will appoint probably a Democratic woman lieutenant governor, as I understand it, to take his place. And I said that if say Pawlenty, the Republican, had still been governor of Minnesota, we would have found out whether it was pure politics or some issue of the moral.
Over in Michigan, John Conyers leaving along the same lines of some sexual misconduct allegations, and it is a Republican governor who's going to leave the seat open, so that there's not a.
See, I'm sick of that which I write about. But I think it makes my writing more relevant, because I think most Americans are too. This is mostly about convenient political tactics. That's mainly what's going on here. But the reaction I got yesterday, in answer to your specific question, which is it? I got criticized from all sides because I tried to say it was both. How dare you say that he was forced out, that he was sacrificed, said some women. Others said, I agree with you. Why force him out as long as Trump and is still there, and Moore is probably going to get elected? And then others, I think probably the ones I identify with most, women respondents, were saying, I'm with you. I'm all over the map on this. I don't know what to think. We're going through a seismic cultural revolution on gender issues. Franken, I believe, is simply a casualty of it, and that was the point I was trying to make. It's not equitable that he goes while the others stay. This idea that you're innocent until proven guilty is for criminal activity. It's not for political calculation or social issues, and it's just one of these days we'll build a monument to Franken as a sacrificial lamb to this whole movement, perhaps. But we are going through something that I think, not just me, a lot of people of all genders and persuasions are struggling with just how to form a judgment about what's happening.
I agree. I'm in that category.
I think most of us are.
I see there's different shades and degrees, but at the same time, it's an overarching problem.
It is.
Not lost in the optics on this. If this lieutenant governor from Minnesota is appointed as the replacement, she is a female. And so you would be adding another female to the mix.
She is a female, that's right. Yeah. Very good.
Got my pronouns right there. But I'm just saying, I think that a stronger balance in elected office of women to men would definitely.
We've had that discussion a few weeks ago, and I bragged on myself years ago, speaking to the League of Women Voters of Arkansas, saying I hear every time I criticize the Arkansas legislature, which I've done for decades now, I hear from people saying, well, at least it's an accurate microcosm of the state. No.
Yeah.
No, not unless it's 50.5% female is it an accurate microcosm of the state.
All right, let's talk about Alabama. It's on everybody's mind nationally, and not for football for change, but the Roy Moore versus Doug Jones race in Alabama will come to a conclusion, we think, tomorrow night. What's your analysis of where that race stands today, and care to make a prediction?
Yeah, I made one in the paper. I may as well stick with it. Or I could do that standard trick of doing one in the paper and doing a different one here. But I think the Democrats made a fairly cynical, raw, cynical political calculation, Democratic senators, and saying, all right, the way this issue plays out, we've got to let Franken go. I think that's, whether he should have gone or not, I think that's the political analysis. I think Alabama is one of our most overwhelmingly conservative Republican states.
Yeah, Trump won 63% of the vote. They did better than he did in Arkansas.
And I think that that voters there are making a similar, inverse, raw political calculation. I'm going to vote for this guy who's probably a creep. But the greater issue has to do with unborn babies, the abortion issue, the gay rights, transgender movement, which disturbs all the evangelicals who dominate Alabama politics. And I think they're going to make the same sort of raw political calculation. And I also believe that whether somebody manipulated all this or not, the Me Too madness that has ensued subsequent to the allegations against Moore has sort of given them license to do that. You know, well, look, the other side is doing the same thing. Nearly everybody has got some allegation against them, they can say.
They've muddied the waters, as we like to say.
Yeah, and sometimes muddying waters is the best political move. You don't want clear water that people can see anything in. You want to muddy it, and I think that's happened here. So I am of the persuasion that Moore will win tomorrow, and I think the late polls are suggesting that. Although I'm stunned, maybe I shouldn't be. It's a special election, it's December, it's the current era, but the Secretary of State was calling for 25% turnout.
It's a big turnout.
Big?
25% in a special election is a big turnout. Yeah.
But who are those 25%? Who's more motivated? You know, I'm sticking with Moore. What, you got a prediction?
I don't, other than just would be curious to see the outcome, because then I think that the conversation moves obviously way beyond Alabama to the national political strategy of all of this. Does this damage the Republican brand for a long period of time? Are they able to sweep this under the rug? Do they throw up another diversion or something to throw?
Did you see the Politico piece over the weekend? Democrats win either way.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably, in the short term, the way it looks like it's going to play.
All right. Let's take a quick commercial break, and we're going to come back and talk Razorback football and basketball. And some politics.
How about that game?
With John Brummett of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, and we're back after this.
Arkansas Electric Cooperative Corporation provides electric energy across 2/3 of Arkansas. This is an exciting time in our energy history, with incredible progress being made in renewable energy and storage technologies. As our energy portfolio continues to diversify, we'll maintain an all-the-above strategy to provide reliable and affordable electricity. Ever since the first light bulbs were placed in our members' homes, the electric cooperatives have been the solutions provider for our members, and we want to continue that well into the future.
Each day, the promise of our nation begins again. Arkansas and America, moving forward. I help make that promise a reality. It's not for everyone, but people everywhere depend on us.
Oh, I love you too, sweetie.
Trucking delivers, or everything stops. And that's what drives me.
I did.
Welcome back to Talk Business and Politics Daily. I'm Roby Brock with John Brummett of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. All right, let's talk about the Hogs on the Hill. I'm going to give you a choice. Basketball or football? Where do you want to go first?
Oh, I think football's more interesting, don't you?
I think they're both interesting, John. But let's talk about the developments in the football program and the overall athletics program last week. We have Hunter Yurachek, new athletic director, introduced, and new head coach Chad Morris introduced. Those names might be a little easier to say than Bielema?
Well, the athletic director, I'm still not sure what his name is, but I got Chad Morris down pretty good.
You're there on that?
I've got it, yeah.
Yeah, so were these good hires in your estimation? When you're looking at we were told that Arkansas's athletic department was a dumpster fire, maybe just right behind Tennessee's, which is still a dumpster fire, by the way. I sense that these two hires have been very well received by the Razorback Nation.
They have been. They have been very well received. They've got, I think somebody's done some pretty good marketing on this. You got this Chad Morris, he's quoted as saying, we're going to get in the left lane and put the hammer down.
Pop the clutch.
And
put the hammer down. Kids these days don't know what a clutch is,
right.
John, so.
Well, but everybody's saying that. I mean, it's like a hashtag now, hammer down, left lane. And he's going into Texas, and he flipped 2 SMU signees, which doesn't impress me. I mean, we need SEC signees, not American Athletic Association
he's grabbed
signees.
a couple of Arkansas commits as
He
well.
turned a couple around. He went to a quarterback's home over or got in touch with a quarterback prospect in Earl and got him interested. There's never a happier, more optimistic time in Arkansas. There is not.
Where this is going.
Than when we have a new football coach. You know why? Because he's undefeated.
I know.
Chad Morris has not blown a game or lost one yet. It is all hope. And he gets up at the big basketball game, and all he says is, "We're going to get in the left lane and put the hammer down." And it's like hog ball again. We've got a slogan. We're going to be fast, and we're going to have great speed, and we're going to throw the ball all over the place, and it's going to be great.
And make the Arkansas Razorbacks great again.
And I hope it's so.
Margo.
I hope it's so. I enjoy making fun of the obsession with the Razorbacks when they're losing, the way people moan. I just make cultural observations about that. But like all native Arkansans, and particularly in my case, I go back to the 60s and the golden era, I would be thrilled if he made the Hogs suddenly or competitive in the SEC. But right now, it's simply he's undefeated, and it's a new day, and everybody can be hopeful. And that's what Christmas is all about, isn't it? This is Christmas for Arkansas. An undefeated coach filling us with hope and marketing slogan. Isn't that great?
Hey,
that's great.
I think you ought to work a column on that. It's got great potential for you.
I may.
All right, Razorback basketball.
Oh, we're going to talk about that too.
Yeah,
okay.
no, because they looked really good against
Yes,
Minnesota.
Did.
They look like they've got some depth, and they look like there's some good stuff happening right there. I didn't see you tweet much about them, so they must be true contenders.
Well, not necessarily, because I was away from the phone for a while, and the game started at a time, I thought it was a night game. It was a twilight game, wasn't it? It started like 5, and by 7:30, it was over. And some of my tennis buddies on our texting thread started talking about it in the past tense, like at 7 o'clock. And I go, what? I was getting ready to watch it. It was like over. So that's why I didn't tweet. Had I been watching it, I would have been tweeting with great celebration and happiness.
You are in the Christmas spirit. There's just no doubt about it.
Except I got to tell you this. Do you remember the Razorback basketball game of the Saturday before?
Yes.
They lost by about 30 at Houston.
Yeah. Well, we got their athletic director out of that.
Yeah, we've got what we went for, apparently. So objectively, I would encourage everyone to remain even on an even keel about this. I've seen this basketball thing turn a bit sour with road games in the conference. However, I will tell you this. They've got a starting 5 and a 6th guy. Jones, I believe, Chip.
He started on.
Did he start?
No, he didn't.
No, I think he's
the freshman.
He's got a nice shooting stroke.
Yeah.
See, I can talk this talk. I think they've got about 6 guys who can play with about anybody. And this young man, Gafford, he may be a one and done.
Yeah, he may be.
So we better get it quick while he's here. So it's Razorback Eden right now. Okay. It's like the Hogs on the Hallmark Channel. It's going to have a happy ending. and I'm watching more.
You need to stay there through the holidays.
I'm going to try.
Okay.
I'm going to try.
Lastly, let's you and I and Rex Nelson and Gwen Moritz are going to be part of a panel, the Political Animals Club of Central Arkansas, tomorrow.
If I show up, I'll be there with you.
You need to be there.
I look forward to it. You're going to moderate because you're, as I've said, you are the official state moderator and a good one. And Gwen, editor of Arkansas Business, and Rex, who he's Mr. Arkansas, and I, and with my happy Christmas spirit, we're going to be reviewing 2017.
That's right.
And looking forward to 2018 for the Political Animals Club. I can't wait, and I'm sure the political animals can't wait.
A little sneak preview. What's going to be your biggest political story of 2017? What do you think's been the biggest?
Roby, I don't want to give it away, but here it is, okay. And I can elaborate on it tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm going to upset Democrats out in the crowd. I think Trump's had a successful year.
Oh.
I think Trump's got it right where he wants. What he needs to do.
Don't add any more to it. That's a good teaser right there.
Yeah, I will explain tomorrow.
Thank you.
For a crowd of about 200.
That's
maybe.
right.
Yeah.
All right. He's John Brummett with the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Come hear him prognosticate and explain the year of 2017, along with Rex Nelson and Gwen Moritz tomorrow.
I don't know what they're going to talk about, but I'm going to talk about the 20 years.
Thank you for being here.
All right. My pleasure always.
That's all for today's program. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.